Colin Cowherd gives validity to the anti-Caitlyn sentiment regarding the Olympic Committee and Caitlyn's Team USA snub.
Clark.
Caitlin Clark, not making it onto the original roster, had left fans scratching their heads. It seemed like a no-brainer to not have the most popular female hooper on the team. Many viewed this year's roster as the NBA's dream team, meaning the same way that MJ and the Olympic team made basketball popular worldwide, people thought that Caitlyn and the team could do the same for the women's game. This is why it was perplexing to see her name not on the original roster. But now the committee has the opportunity to rectify their mistake.
Diana Taurasi is injured, and it may open the door for Caitlin Clark to make the Olympic team.
Now, this would be kind of ironic. If you guys recall, Diana Taurasi straight up told everyone that Caitlyn was in for a rude awakening once she came into the league. Reality is coming. You look superhuman playing against some 18-year-olds, but you're going to play with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time. Taurasi faced a lot of backlash for this comment. Many fans labeled her as a hater and that she was simply jealous of Caitlyn, who is clearly the new face of the WNBA. However, Taurasi went on to double down on her statement and even called those fans sensitive. Now, of course, Caitlyn got the last laugh. When the two of them faced off, she finished with a near triple-double, collecting 15 points, 12 assists, and 9 rebounds. Afterwards, Taurasi changed her tune and praised Caitlyn's game.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. What Caitlyn's been able to do in her short career so far has just been nothing short of remarkable. The one thing that I really love about her, she loves the game. You can tell she's put the work in. And even, throughout, her short WNBA career, it's been a lot of pressure, a lot of things thrown at her, and she keeps showing up and keeps getting better every single game. So her future is super bright.
So it would make sense to have Caitlyn replace Taurasi if she cannot make it over to Paris. Her popularity is undeniable. She got the most votes for the All-Star game, and it wasn't even close. She netted over 700,000 votes. Now compare that to last year's top vote getter, A'ja Wilson, who had 96,000, and you can see how absurd Caitlyn's popularity really is. However, it seems as if the WNBA is dropping the ball when it comes to Caitlyn. It's almost as if they did not understand they were about to get a once-in-a-generation superstar and didn't have the infrastructure in place to capitalize on her popularity.
They knew a year out she could be the number one pick. They give her the toughest early schedule in the league over any other team. And remember, the Indiana Fever were the worst team. So she comes in, they start 1-8. They put nothing but quality veteran teams that had been in the playoffs. Terrible start.
To make matters worse, the league had to scramble to make room for Caitlyn and her fans. For example, the Las Vegas Aces, the wildly popular champions, moved their July 2nd game against Clark's Fever from their home to a larger 18,000 capacity venue. The Los Angeles Sparks originally planned to play their first 5 home games at Long Beach State due to renovations at their usual stadium. They moved a trio of contests, which included a May 24th meeting with the Fever from the collegiate facility, back to the arena that they share with the Lakers. And if that wasn't bad enough, it seems as if the WNBA and the Olympic Committee are working overtime to throw zero favoritism. In fact, it has gotten so bad that they are actively hurting Caitlyn and the growth of the game.
Then the league got, this is what happens sometimes with soccer fans. They feel ignored, and WA fans feel ignored, so they get very precious, very tribal, very insular. She's not going to make the USA women's basketball Olympic team, and you're like, are you crazy?
Rather than looking at the Olympic team from a business perspective, the committee is viewing it emotionally. This includes the Olympic team coach, Cheryl Reeve. Reeve took to X to promote an upcoming Lynx preseason game. At the same time, she voiced her displeasure as she called out the lack of broadcasting availability for games that didn't include star rookies, with the use of hashtags such as hashtag 12 teams and hashtag the W is more than one player. So clearly, she has something against Caitlin. Later, the Olympic roster was released and Caitlin did not make the cut, which drew criticism and questions as to Reeve's potential part in Clark's roster snub. Reeve said that the decision to leave her off of the team was rather contentious, but it ultimately came down to experience and standard procedure. Caitlin wasn't at training camp because she was playing March Madness and didn't play particularly well during the first few weeks of the WNBA season. Rookies rarely make the team even when they do participate in all of the pre-selection process. So it sounds like a bunch of made-up nonsense to please other players.
There's a lot of sycophants in the media. They feel like the sport's been ignored, so they're part of the brigade to support it, and that's fine. But let's be honest about it. The sport made a terrible decision on the Olympic team. The scheduling early, even though they knew she was coming out and probably going to be a number one pick a year earlier, about the time they were making schedule.
Caitlin has already proved all of the doubters wrong. She is the first WNBA rookie ever to record a triple-double, plus she became the first player in Fever franchise history to achieve a triple-double. She leads all rookies in scoring and assists and is third in the league in the latter category. She became the fastest WNBA rookie to surpass 100 points and 50 assists, which she did in just 8 games. She is the fastest WNBA player to record 150 career assists since 1998. She also had 7 first-quarter assists in a recent game, which broke a franchise record. She now has the Fever record for both assists in a single quarter and assists in a single game. And these are just on-court records. If you're talking about off-the-court stuff like ratings, jersey sales, and endorsements, there really is no one like Caitlin in women's basketball. Heck, when it comes to those types of things, Caitlin is up there with the NBA elite. That's how incredible she is. This is why the Olympic Committee cannot make the same mistake twice regarding her.
And it's like, now you made a big mistake the first time, not putting her on the Olympic team. Don't double down on dumb. Get her on the team. Give us a reason to watch the Olympic women's team. You guys win gold every year. Your competition's weak. You win it every year. Give us a reason. Quadruple your television ratings.
Now, Cowherd has a very good argument here. The women's Olympic competition isn't the same as the men's. In the men's game, the rest of the world is really catching up to them. This is why we see close games and have seen American players lose in the Olympics and the World Cup. However, in the women's domain, no team even comes close to threatening America for that top spot. The last time they lost in a major tournament was in 2006. Prior to that, it was in 1992. They have won gold in the Olympics the last 7 times. They are clear favorites to win gold once again. So why not add to the popularity of the game and put in the biggest superstar in women's basketball history?
Promoting not only the other women on the team that could get endorsements, but promoting your sport. There's a reason that top movie stars and top athletes use the same 4 or 5 agents, because they can handle it. They don't get overwhelmed. Women's basketball has felt overwhelmed here. You got your Conor McGregor.
At the conclusion of her college career, Caitlin was proclaimed the GOAT of TV ratings by the Wall Street Journal, which wrote that her impact on television viewership exceeded any other modern athlete. Caitlin's regular season debut against the Connecticut Sun on May 14, 2024 was the most watched WNBA game since 2002, and the most watched ever on ESPN2 or any cable network. On May 18th, her game against the New York Liberty set the league's ABC viewership record with 1.71 million viewers. In the following week, Clark's game set WNBA viewership marks on ESPN, ION, and NBA TV. Caitlin's name is attached to all the new record-breaking incidents. The only game that Clark was not involved in for the top-viewed matchups was the Minnesota Lynx versus the New York Liberty in late May. 12 out of the 13 new viewership records this season have involved Caitlin and the Indiana Fever.
Basketball terms, this is a layup. In NBA terms, it's a slam dunk. If you can get her on the Olympic team, you missed the first time, do it the second time. You're doing yourself a favor. Don't get in the way of yourself.
So it is unbelievable that this is even a talking point. If you ask anyone outside of the committee, it would be unfathomable to leave Caitlin off of the Olympic squad. However, for some reason, this issue has gotten out of hand. If Caitlin doesn't replace Taurasi on the team, then you really have to wonder if there is an anti-Caitlin sentiment in the league. Now, this would be absurd because she is raising not only the level of the women's game, but is bringing in more money than ever before. But who knows? With the way the media and the WNBA vets are trying their hardest to prop up Angel Reese as the Rookie of the Year over Caitlin, maybe they don't want their sport to succeed and garner more popularity. Perhaps they are content with barely staying afloat and earning the bare minimum. Otherwise, they would be championing for Caitlin to get on the roster like everyone outside of the WNBA is doing. Hopefully, they do the right thing and give Caitlin what she has earned.